Hey y'all, hope y'all are doing well during this quarantine. Welcome back to Mary's Goods, where everything is good. This is our second episode. Today we will be focusing on making some beef teriyaki with vegetables. It's going to be really easy. I've made this last week and tested out with my roommates, and they seem to really enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna need a third cup of garlic, a cup of diced onions, half a cup of sesame teriyaki, a 1/4 cup of flour. We're gonna have a teaspoon of sriracha, a teaspoon of soy sauce, teaspoon of hoisin sauce, some oil. We're gonna have some salt, of course, and then some black pepper as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start off with doing the mixture for the sauce. So I already put the sesame teriyaki in a bowl as well with the flour. Next, we are going to add the soy sauce. I'm gonna add the sriracha. We're gonna add the hoisin sauce. Okay, right after, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna wanna mix these. It's gonna be a little messy, but that's totally fine. So with the flour, that adds just a little bit of thickness to the sauce, and that's why I generally like to use it. Again, like I said, you can use cornstarch if you like, but the flour and cornstarch are optional. I just use it so that way it thickens the sauce. All right, so you want to get a nice thick consistency. Now that we're done with the sauce, we can go ahead and move on and set this aside. Perfect. You want to make sure that you also have 2 pans, one for the meat and then one for the vegetables. We will add the meat later on to the vegetables. However, I tend to cook the vegetables first and I cook the meat last, and then I add it all together. The first step that you want to do is make sure you have your oil. You want to make sure I'm going to use majority of this. I'm probably going to leave some left over for the meat. So we're just going to go ahead and pour this in. And then after you pour that in, make sure you have your minced garlic and then your chopped onions. They're going to be the next to go in the pan. So you want to make sure that it's nicely sauteed. You're gonna smell the onion, you're gonna smell the garlic, it's gonna smell so good. Make sure that your heat is either medium or medium-low. I have mine on medium-low. Look at that, that looks beautiful. Okay, so next I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add my zucchinis right over here. Plop that in there. Going to also add the mushrooms. And then broccoli I'm probably going to add last. I'm just going to let this saute. I'm going to make sure that the zucchini is all nice. All right, here we go with the leftover oil that we have saved from the first cooking pan that we did for the vegetables. We are going to use the rest of this for the meat. There you go. We're going to turn it on. Owen. So as I'm waiting for the pan to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and just keep mixing my vegetables just a little bit longer, and then in about 1 to 2 minutes I will add my broccoli. Beautiful. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and add my meat to the pan. It should be ready to go. I do have it on low heat. I'm going to change it to a medium-low. Then go ahead and add the meat. Get that cooking as well. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and add the broccoli. Go ahead, add a good mix to it. So we have the beef with broccoli, mushrooms, onions, garlic, and zucchini in there. I'm just cooking it all the way through, so when I bite into my food when it's done, it's not so harsh. The broccoli isn't crispy. It's nice, tender, and juicy. And for the meat, notice that we have it here. I'm just waiting for it to cook all the way through before I start adding the sauce. You can probably add the sauce midway through if you'd like, but preferably I would like to add the sauce when the meat is a little bit more cooked. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my sauce that I have here that I set aside. Go ahead and pour that in there. I'm only gonna pour half. The other half I'm gonna pour with the rest of the vegetables in just a moment. Not yet, but in just a moment. Let the vegetables cook a little bit more. This recipe generally takes less than an hour. Yeah. So if you're cooking this or if you want to try it and cook it, this is gonna take you less than an hour. Probably gonna go ahead and just pour that all in there. There's still a little bit sauce left. With the last of the sauce, once I combine the meat and the vegetables together, I'm going to use the last of the sauce. All right, here we are. Notice that the beef is cooked all the way. You don't see any more pink spots. You don't see any of the blood from the meat coming out anymore. I'll go ahead and give this one last good mix. And it's okay if there is some browning on the meat. I personally like it. It gives a little bit more of a caramelized flavor to the meat, in my opinion. However, that is totally up to you and is totally up to your preference on how you like to cook your meat. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stove for the meat. Go ahead and just put that in there. So the sauce, I'm going to go ahead, just add that in there one more time. Get all the sauces in there. And mix. Last but not least, we are going to use salt and then we are going to use pepper to add that into the mix. And those should be your final steps and then you should be done. I already have rice that I made yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and just eat off of that. The amount of pepper is up to you. If you like a lot of pepper, go ahead and add a lot. I just do a little bit at a time. Same thing with salt, I just do a little bit at a time, just so that way I don't overwhelm it with too much pepper. I don't overwhelm it with too much salt. Generally, what I like to do is I taste as I go. I've made this before, so I'm just going based off of what I remember on how much salt and pepper I put in last time. And there we have it. We have our teriyaki with beef and vegetables. Go ahead, enjoy. Let me know in the comments below what else you'd like to see, or if you have any recommendations, or if you've tried this recipe, let me know how it tastes for you. All right, y'all, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, be careful, cautious, and have a good one.
Till next time.